Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which can be repetitive because sometimes our lens is, has bad sound quality. And so we have to like clean off the lens and look through the lens again and find out what we're looking at for a second time, which happened for this episode. Hi, guys. Here we are. If you're a Patreon person, then you might be like, oh, look. This is going to be the same episode they just recorded, but we had some technical issues. So here we are doing it again, and always down for a round two, a little rehearsal, and then, honey, opening night. Hi.
Hello. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Patreon. I didn't go on and listen to it to like see if it was fine quality. And then I went in to edit it and I was like, no, I sound like I'm underwater. So those of you guys, I wonder if Patreon even said anything to us. If there was like one comment that said, hey, your audio is weird. Don't know. We'll look. But anyways, so what we're talking about right here is 90 Day the Other Way, episode 4. Season 4, episode 6. Love is one thing, but it don't cost a thing or something.
Yeah, love is one thing. Listen, it should be love is one thing, lust is another. Love is one thing, sex is another. That's. So it's interesting that they just really want us to fill in the blanks. It's artistic license on the Sharp Entertainment part for us to really fill in the blanks and like make it our own and like whatever our perceived reality is, we put onto this. So listen, it's open ended and or lazy depending on how you look at the title. And we're here for it. I will tell you that I think last time we started with Jen and Rishi, but I think we should actually like on this round 2 like end with them because they're actually kind of like the most exciting part of this episode to me.
Okay.
But let's talk about someone who I had a hard time with them last night. I'm gonna have a hard time again with them today. Let's bring them up, honey. It's Jamie and Sleepy Chris.
So boring. So boring. I mean, I mean, do you want to just like turbo round speed through them and Isabel and whoever else is boring? I mean, here, okay. What happens in this episode, you guys, is they go looking for accoutrement, decorations for their home. They have different fashion senses, obviously. So then, with the thinnest eyebrows you've ever seen in the year 2023, she sits on a bed and tells Jamie that, hey, I got to go back to the States because there is this rare motorcycle that got stolen out of my garage. And I was going to use it to pay for stuff for us here, but someone stole it. So I got to go home and make sure that person does time because it's really important. Now, it is really important. However, Jamie's like, no, you're not coming back. I know you. You're going to get home and realize, hey, I like it over there so much better. So much better. You know what's the crazy thing? At the beginning of this episode, she's like, I've been in Colombia for 3 days and it feels like forever. It feels like I'm so at home with Jamie. And I thought she was going to say 3 weeks. She says 3 days with a dramatic pause. And so we think she's going to say 3 weeks. We think she's like, oh my God, it's been just like the most. And it's like, girl, 3 days. And she's already tried to buy a knife. She's already explained that her neck is broken and that she's going to need surgery. She's had so many different issues. And today we have a whole other slew of issues, or the next day, a whole nother slew of issues. They are wearing matching outfits. Did you notice that though?
The jeans, yeah, they're wearing jean shirts the day that her back hurts. I like. Okay, it's just that how do I say this? First of all, there are some interesting things here. Like I like the fact that Chris is like, very country, honey, just been shooting guns and like shooting, knives out of her eyeballs, and like, I don't know what it is. But she very much is like, well, this place is very dangerous. We need to like arm ourselves. And then like Jamie's like, no, it's not. Like it's like that kind of thing, which is very interesting. And I mean, this is what it is. And it's going to be kind of hard to like not repeat sentiments of last night because this is how I feel, which is basically this. These people are fine. This is not fun entertainment to watch. There's nothing fun about this couple. It is a lot of Chris having a lot of problems. And I feel so bad for her pain. And I feel bad that she's sleepy. And I feel bad that, that her neck. And I feel bad that she can't have mint. And I feel bad, it's like, listen, I don't want those things for you. The rare motorcycle, I wish someone didn't steal it. Like, it's just so much negativity and so much trauma and so much not fun. It's just, as an audience member, no one wants to watch this segment. And it's sad because it's like, oh, your first two lesbians. Oh, I can't, they're unwatchable. Like nothing. It's not just the fact they have horrible style or horrible lingerie. Like they don't have to prove anything to me. It's just like, but even if we were like around social company, I can't feel like I feel comfortable around Chris. There's just so much happening. She's a Debbie Downer and I want the best for her, but I can't watch it. And this is not TV, honey. This is like who you avoid in The Office.
Wow.
That's like the person that always has problems. You're just like, I'm sorry for your problems. I just can't take them on. I don't want to witness them. I don't want to witness every part of your problems. It's just not fun for me. But here we are. So anyway, blah, blah, blue, and they're matching jean jackets, then Chris is like, my neck hurts. My neck's always hurting. I don't want to get the surgery, I think it's a whole thing. And she's like making a big thing. And she's like, I keep trying to push myself for Jamie, like it's, if I don't have to keep pushing myself for Jamie, go to this flea market, it would be chill or whatever. And she's just like the altitude, the sickness. I mean, it's just so much. And so for some reason, instead of just telling Jamie, like, I'm going to sit this one out, she makes a big to-do to go into a cab, and then they like, she can't even sit up in the cab. He's laying on Jamie's lap. Tears are falling from her eyes. The cab driver like pulls them there, and then they're just like, yeah, and take us home. The guy's like, oh, you fucking baddie women. Okay, just take him home. Hopefully he made us so much money. Have to hear all those like sniffing snoo-hoos behind in his seat, honey. I hope he had a white Chris's like tears away from his, pleather. I just like, so then, yeah, then they get back to the house and they get like some doctor to come in. And I mean, then the doctor comes in, honey, and I realize they've had like a happy puppy this whole time. That's now for 3 days had to like watch their boo-hooing the whole time in their ugly lingerie. And that doctor comes in, and that dog's tail is so fucking happy to like get some new energy in, honey. That dog couldn't be happier to see another human being like, please take me with you, doctor. Like, these bitches are crazy and they're so sad all the time, so sleepy and sad all the time, and their taste horrible. And there's these like, that dog only has like a nipple pillow to sleep on at night. I feel so bad for the dog.
Wow. I mean, just so much. Yeah. Yeah, that doctor that came in, that was interesting, like that Jamie had to like interpret for. And the word vertebrae was lost on both sides. Like she's like this, and he's like vertebrae. I don't believe that her back was hurting. I don't know why. There was just something about the way she was moving. Not that I don't believe it. It just didn't look like it did. There was something the way she was moving I was like, does your back really hurt? Because the fact that you could even like do what you're doing seems like crazy to me. And I think maybe at this point, Jamie wants to allow her to go home. Like maybe at this point, Jamie's like, yeah, I guess you should go home.
I really want to, I don't understand what Jamie would see in this person at all. Like at all. She is, and also the greatest part about this is also this. Chris is like, yeah, I ghosted Jamie on her birthday. She was just getting so needy. She was just so needy. And I'm looking at this woman and being like, you seem needy. You're the one that seems like you need comfort and attention and pity all the time. And like, it just feels like, I mean, again, like if this person existed in my social circle because of acquaintances or work, I would avoid the person, honey, like the plague. And it's just the energy of just like so much bad things happening. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's just like, I don't want to be that energy around me, honey. Like, I don't know what to tell you. There's just people that like things happen to, and they're
Chris,
grinning and bearing.
We get it. You do not want to be around that person. And I agree with you. I think in person, oh, absolutely not. But on TV, I'm okay watching it because that distance is fine with me. However, it's boring, right? Like that is really what it is, Chris. It is boring. You are bored.
I'm mad and bored. I'm mad that they put them. I'm mad that they chose to ruin my time with them. And I also will say this. I think that I just like, maybe I need a muscle relaxer. Maybe that's it. Honey, I woke up hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to tell you, get a needle and just like stick it in my fucking thigh and just like relax these muscles. in my mouth. Anyway, so that's all I have to say about them. Let's move on to the other couple that we're not going to want to talk about. And it's so sad. Just today, because I actually like Gabe and Isabel, and I don't want to be like, oh, look, the two queer and or LGBT whatever adjacent couples I'm not into, but I'm actually into them. It's just that this episode had a lot of information and a lot of things that I like I didn't ask for, and I feel like I didn't. I feel like not privy to that information. I feel like it felt like when you're in a social situation and then you're with someone who is going in and asking questions and you're like, oh, that's not me. No, I don't actually need to know all this. And this person is making me look like I am a weird, curious cat. I would rather just let you guys do your thing and I disrespect them both and just walk away and just be like, I have my own body and problems and complications. I just don't need all the pictures of like you not peeing the way you want to pee on a toilet. Like all of that was just, honey, like upper echelon. Now I will tell you on the flip side, it's crazy to me that I don't know a lot about what happens in the surgery of trans people. And this show did illuminate a lot of like things I never fucking thought about or even thought to ask or care to know. So it's like, I still don't need to know all the intricate details, but there was so much that it did feel like it was like a little gratuitous in the sense that I don't want to be privy to someone's personal business in that way.
Yes. Chris is also somebody who doesn't like gore. She doesn't like pain, like even like so much of it, like even seeing Jamie in pain, Chris doesn't like that either. She doesn't like to see any kind of like health issue, pain, blood, gore, nothing of that sort. I am not that. However, I still did not want to know any of that. It's mainly because I feel like I am of the opinion that as a human society, we should accept trans people for who they are, regardless of knowing how their body functions. And I think, and I mean, maybe in the beginning, yes, I was curious. But at this point in my trans ally journey, I don't need that information. And I just felt bad that Gabe had to be that person that has opened up the eyes of all of the folk in the middle or on the coasts that have never had any interactions with trans people or their humanity. And it just made me uncomfortable for him and for us, because I feel like, are they going to want details? You know what I was also thinking about, and maybe this has nothing to do here nor there, and I'm not asking for you to chime in on this at all, Chris. I'm just saying that part of me feels like trans men are the less talked about transition folk. Like we have a lot of people who are trans who choose to be non-binary trans, and there's different types of trans. It's not just always men, women, women, men. But it felt like this was like the safe introduction to it, and I don't like that. I don't know. There's something about it that just makes me feel like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe there are people out there who know what I'm saying, but yeah, I don't want Gabe to be this martyr for this. I don't think it's necessary. But I guess there are people who do think it's necessary, and Gabe put himself out there. I mean, he even had this moment where he's like, sorry, mom, sorry, grandma. But I think, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the level of violence that trans men face versus trans women. I don't know if trans men are as clockable as trans women or other people who choose to transition in different manners. And so I just don't know. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel like maybe while this may be on the other hand good to educate folks, as somebody who doesn't need that education, I'm a little uncomfortable because I don't know.
Yeah, the same thing is like if anyone had to deep dive into the major complications of their surgery in front of me, I would not want to be a part of that discussion at all. Yeah, like I think it's just like for me in Wuhan, like there is for some people like the basic human capacity to want to survive, and so mentally when I see bodies being harmed or something like, you know, I don't like to watch people like do drugs, you know, like intravenous things. Like when I see stuff like that, it like does something just to the basic part of me that I'm like, nah! Anyway, so having said that,
It's good. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
is a good and fair call out, and it makes me feel like slightly a monster, because I would like to see people fighting and get beat up all the time. Just kidding.
Listen, my dad, it's so funny because my dad, as I was watching Toe last night, I brought in the scene when Debbie meets Osama for the first time. My dad is watching boxing. Okay, he's watching people beat themselves up, and I bring this computer. I'm like, Dad, look, and I like play them when she comes out or whatever. And he was just like making fun of me. He's like, look what trash you watch, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, what? Look what trash I watch? You're a fucking Roman gladiator watching people kill each other right now. What are you talking about? Like these men are beating each other's fucking faces in and probably causing like mental damage and blood everywhere. But like I'm the monster. Okay. All right. Anyway, so moving on. Let me just say this. So some good parts of this episode between Isabel and Gabe are the following things. Gabe says two things that I want to talk about, which is not about his journey through surgeries, but his love situation with her, which is I love Isabel because she makes me feel normal. And I wanted to ruminate on that, and I didn't do it last night. But the thought about it is this. I thought about, and I've been thinking about what causes someone to feel loved and or comfortable or safe with someone. And it's interesting because obviously we know Gabe's story and we understand how hard it's been for Gabe and other trans men. And I will say this was such a very human thing for him to say that is incredibly relatable, because I think that I would also feel safe and or loved if I was with someone who sort of also made me feel normal. And by normal, I'm going to use another word, which is lovable. There's something about not feeling other or feeling not good enough or feeling weird that also makes you feel like you are potentially an unlovable human. And I think I'm not trans, but I understand the idea of, am I good enough for someone, and or will someone love this person for the rest of their life? And am I weird? Am I whatever? And it's so human. So when he says that about Isabel, and obviously we watch Isabel just be a very warm figure for him, it makes me feel incredibly happy that he found her, and that she is helping him with the business and is there to support him in the surgeries. And I just like, it's incredibly inspiring, and I want the best for them. Even though I don't like Chris and Jamie, like I really do love Gabe and Isabel, and I want to see more of the relationship. Yes, it was just so much gratuitous inner body stuff that I was just like, I felt like bad for the producers having asked him to do this.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that when I heard him say that, I was like, oh, I would like to love somebody and make somebody feel the way Isabel makes Gabe feel. I think that is something to aspire to have somebody feel like they love me for me. And it's because I feel like I've always been such a hard figure to love in that instance. Childhood trauma. So like for
Same.
him to say that, I was like, I'm so happy for you. And I'm so happy that Isabel is, and at every turn, she's like, I don't care about his body. His body is his body. If he wants to get the not myomectomy, the surgery here, then it's fine. Like if he wants to do that, it's fine. So yeah, you guys, just so you know, there is this, there are two documentaries that I watched in the early aughts about trans folk that I thought was good and helpful for me. One of them was called Southern Comfort, and that was about a woman to man transition, and just in the rural South, after that person had already had 2 kids and a husband, and they did it in like the freaking 60s. And so like I would watch that if I were you. It's called Southern Comfort. And then another one that I watched is called Trantasia, and that's more so about a male to female who was in this pageant world, or this like Las Vegas showgirl world, I believe. And I mean, they're early, so there might be some problematic things in them that may not be valid to this day, but it does give you like a kind of an early look into that the world and the way that trans people have had to exist in this country. Now, granted, these stories are about non people of color, so it's a little different, but it's still very heartbreaking and enlightening. So if you wanted to get some, you could watch that. All right, we're ready to move on.
Yeah, and I've never heard of Southern Comfort. What a great, yeah, I look it up. Okay. All right, baby boos. Who do you want to go on to now?
Let's do something happy. Let's talk about Osama.
Okay.
Osama and Debbie. Yeah. Okay. So you weren't you didn't get an opportunity to sort of record and talk about your first vision of Osama, like what you first felt when you saw that skinny man on a skateboard just fucking playing with cats. Ooh, tell us about your first impression.
I thought I was like, how does this, like, this is the kind of person that, like, I don't know that this person exists, and now I know this kind of person exists. He's just, yeah, he just wants to paint him. Okay. Osama to me kind of feels like what I was like in the late 90s, which is that I wanted so badly to be artistic and sort of, morose and sort of melancholy. Like I wanted, like, I was like, honey, in this 15-year-old, 16-year-old body is a heart that beats with an old soul and so much trauma. But like what's funny for me is that, like, I'm just definitely like in a world of privilege, like being an only child, like in Newport Beach, like living my life. But I was just like, the sun sets on a sad girl's face as the moon, like I did all of that. His poetry is horrible. And I'm not saying that I'm saying that as I'm an English person. I'm not saying this man can't write poetry in his native language, but he decides to write poetry in English because he feels like it's the universal tongue, honey. And his poetry is, I would say, just like been there, done that. It's a lot of like the words love and moon and sun. And it's like, oh, I definitely have heard of those. I mean, like, those are just the easiest metaphors to be had, honey. I mean, you're no Pablo Neruda. I mean, you're no Shakespeare sonnet, like, this is not it. But however, listen,
let me give you some.
painting.
Let me give you some of that. It's you are a revelation. Let's go at iambic pentameter by iambic pentameter, by like stanza by line, okay? You are a revelation, a full moon, a tree, and a rose. Chris. The sun get jealous when you walk beside me. I would like to break that little stanza down. The sun get jealous when you walk beside me. Who is the sun in this poem? Like, what does the sun represent? Why would it get jealous? Like, who are you to the sun? Right? You know what I'm saying? Is the sun an entity that wants to walk by you, next to you? And if so, why? Are you the galaxy? Like, explain what is happening. The sun get jealous when you walk beside me. Why is it? Because Debbie is like even bigger than the sun? Is she a supernova? Is what is she? I mean, he says that she's an angel, and I got a good friend of mine to create a meme of it. Gabby did the Lord's work. I was like, Gabby, can you please make a picture of of what's his face, of what's her name, as an angel? And she did. Here, let me find it.
Why don't you upload it so I can see it?
You're right.
Okay, well, I'll talk while you do that. So anyway, yeah. Listen, Debbie is a light. We all know that. She's an angel and a light. We know that. She's very sunny, honey. She's warm. She has like golden features. She does radiate light. So I do understand the concept of this, but it's just like, it is just, it's rudimentary. I mean, I don't want to tell you, if you're going to be if you want to call yourself an artist and you have to, and you're going to put your art out there, you have to be willing to have some sort of critique. And I will tell you that if you are a poet in 10 years time, you will look back at these poems and be like, wow, these were elementary at best. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Want me to help you? Fine. Listen, if you want to spend the rest of your life, honey, living with your dad and the cows and petting the cows, and I don't know why I'm talking like this, but if you want to do that, it's a great life. I like those cows. And you have those 14 chickens and you have the 19 teeth on one side of your mouth, honey. I get it. I've counted the numbers up. But if you want to be a poet, then yeah, I mean, you got to get some metaphors and some similes and some images that haven't been relentlessly pounded into Western literature. And I also feel like fuck English because you speak different languages. Moroccan people, and I don't want to say every Moroccan person, but a lot of Moroccan people speak Arabic and French as well. And if you speak English, Arabic, and French, then let's fucking start writing some poetry in the better languages for that, honey. That's Arabic and French. Arabic is a beautiful language that is flowery as fuck. And if you want to, look up Khalil Gibran poetry, like there's a big deal. He's a big deal for a reason. And like, it's just English isn't the language for that. And you just don't have enough words. You don't have enough like phrases. It's just not passionate enough, And so I think he should lean into like some other things. Like, and also I think that he's a good cow petter.
A cow petter. Sorry, editing me for laughing like that in that mic. I do apologize to myself. Yes.
I will say this. Okay, so tell me when you. Okay, so here we open with Debbie having packing. She's packing her like carry-all, honey, and it's very hard to pack a carry-all and to get everything in there. And I get it. She has a lot of things. She has like 14 rings on one hand, honey. I mean, she probably. In my mind, I'm like, oh, she's wearing the rings because she has no reason that she can't like pack them. I like am surprised that she doesn't walk out of her house, honey, in 17 layers of clothes, being like, I couldn't find room. But in her, I talked about this last night. In her carry-all, honey, is what? Pillow rollers. You see them. She packs them pillow rollers, and I love this woman so much, honey. I just like that beautiful frizzy like long ass hair, honey, that she just like rolls into like little curls, and then and then like fall out, honey, and they're just like the most beautiful like long eccentric haired woman. Just like I love her so much. I also said this last night. She is 100% a Jennifer Coolidge character. I mean, like Jennifer Coolidge playing her would be like my favorite thing in the whole world. Like, and also, yeah, I said this last night too, and I'm sorry, but I'll say it again. Could Jennifer Coolidge host SNL? Can Jennifer Coolidge host SNL, please? And I don't understand. This is one thing about SNL. There are so many people in this world that are like big ass deals and also have had like copious training in sketch and improv comedy. But SNL just wants to bring on
No,
every
wait, you're going
shitty
off the
person.
rails. Where are you going? I come back.
Jennifer Coolidge is a groundlings.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, yes.
So Jennifer Coolidge is, let me finish what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I know you don't get it, but I'm going to finish my thought. Jennifer Coolidge is an amazing actress who's having a big ass deal right now. And she has a whole ass career in improv and sketch comedy. And that's what I'm talking about, groundlings. And why I'm saying this is a tangential thing to say that for how big and important she is, SNL won't have her on for whatever fucking reason. And she's probably better than the entire cast they have right now. The woman has been doing comedy on stage for years. Anyway, so here's a thought, SNL. Get her on and have her play Debbie. I'm Chris Farron. I'm out.
Does SNL do 90 Day Fiance skits?
They definitely have.
Oh.
They do. I mean, they're, they have to talk about the zeitgeist of pop culture. And I mean, let's fucking talk about it. Nothing's bigger than 90 Day Fiance for me.
You're right.
Okay, so basically she packs, she gets out. She's traveling there, she's filming herself. She's like pushing her things. She's so excited. She's like, I want to run to meet him. And we're all kind of like, yeah, but girl, but you're wearing like kind of floppy shoes. You can't run. No, don't run, Debbie. Like her son has like pleaded with her not to leave. It's incredibly sad. Like at one point when her son drops her off, I'm like, Boo, you're getting on this flight. You are. Go and buy a ticket at the fucking desk right now and escort your mom to Morocco. It's like honestly what I was in my mind thinking. Like, I don't understand how that's not even happening, but okay. And then so she gets off the plane and she like goes outside and she like meets her man and she is just like, hi, Osama. She stares at him as if she is never seen in her life anyone that has a penis and or is attractive. I mean, like, and Osama is 2 years old with 1 billion teeth off to the side. Oh my God, look at her. That's the Lord's worth, Gabby. Thank you, Gabby.
Yes. So because what happens is she walks out and she's like, hi, Osama. You look so handsome. And he's like, hello, Debbie. You look like an angel. And I said, Gabby, I need you to give me a picture of Debbie as an angel. And she said,
Look at
I got
these hands. Look at these hands. Okay, look at
it. She did it. So if you guys are on Patreon, patreon.com/docusweeties, you would have got that visual. And so yeah, these are good old Patreon. And for those of you guys who are on audio, Chris keeps on saying that she said it last night. You guys don't actually have last night. I didn't upload it. So just erase that. She's talking to the Patreon only when she says last night. Okay, guys. So don't think like, oh my God, I missed something. You didn't miss anything. So yeah. Wow. I mean, okay. So what it is that there's like a baby tooth that didn't fall out. And then there's like a gap in the middle. And listen, as I keep saying to you guys, dental is a privilege, right? That is one of the least most things that people are worried about. They're worried about your gums because your gums can mess up your body. But like as far as like your teeth go, like it is the lesser of the things in the body. Go ahead, you're confused. Ask the question.
For health?
Yeah. If your gums are messed up for health wise, if your gums are messed up, like your body's messed up.
But you do need teeth to like chew, like how you gonna eat?
You do, but I'm saying the cosmetic portion of it, of making sure they're straight and all that stuff, like that is a very Western thing. There are plenty of British people running around with like teeth doing all kinds of things, right? But it's a very American thing to go and get braces as a child in order to correct any, teeth issues. But for most Americans, it's relatively expensive. Like you're gonna have to sink, $3,000 to $5,000 into your kid's mouth if you try to give everyone them braces. So it's a thing. But anyway, so I always say that because whenever I want to like talk about someone's teeth, it is so crazy to me. Like I can't imagine putting my lips to someone's lips if their teeth are just doing a magical like ballet. It's like the Nutcracker. It's like literally chewing on rocks like situation. Anyways, but that's all we're gonna say about that because again, it's a privilege and we're
Privilege.
So yeah,
but you didn't have braces even though you have perfect teeth, right?
I didn't have braces because my mother is this is hereditary. Like my gap is hereditary, but all of my life she told me that it was because I sucked my thumb, which I did. So she was like, you did that to yourself and you're just gonna have to suffer the consequences. And I was like, I don't care. Sucking my thumb gives me the most comfort in the entire world. My teeth can fall out for all I care. But my little sister had braces. Wasani never, perfect teeth. No gap. Like he has teeth like my dad.
That's crazy it's crazy that you have perfect teeth though. I mean, besides the fact, I think your gap is great, but like, you have white straight ass teeth. That's fucking crazy. Can I school? Wait, I want to.
No, down here it's not straight. They're doing a thing down here. There's like
when
a gap. When did
you stop sucking your thumb?
Huh?
When did you stop sucking your thumb? You're like never.
Old.
Do you still suck up sometimes?
No.
Do you think about it?
I do think about it. Look at it. Look. Guess which one I sucked?
Wait, I cannot tell what I'm supposed to. Is it one pad of your finger smaller than the other?
Yeah. This one is like way thinner than this one.
Yeah, why? Because you sucked you sucked it too hard?
This is the thumb I sucked. It was a long time. It was like 20s. Maybe.
Did I know you?
Yes. I don't remember sucking my thumb in New York, but I remember sucking it before that in my 20s. Yeah, no, I'm gonna tell you right now, you guys don't understand. Like I'm a relatively adjusted person, but like I like self-soothe like my entire life. I have to self-soothe. Part of that was sucking my thumb, fantasy books. Like if I could drink, I would be a full-blown alcoholic. Like if my 20s, if I were allowed to drink, I would be a completely different person.
I never thought about the fantasy books as being your self-soothing thing. Well, that's fucking fascinating. Let's go back to this show we're talking about.
Oh yeah, Osama.
Debbie.
So then
I love Debbie.
Staring him into his eyes and just so like, hi Osama, this is the rest of my life. And she's like, I don't want to push Osama on when he's gonna marry me, but I'm thinking we're gonna get married in a month. And the audience is like, oh, shenanigans afoot. These are a perfect couple. I mean, this is what 90 Day Fiance should be about.
How did this woman, so how does this very sweet, lovely, eccentric, fun woman exist at this seasoned age and yet lives in a delusional fantasy land where she thinks this is all going to work out? And what I really want to know is, how do I make sure that's not me?
Um, I think at some point you just have to see. I think with her, she accepted that she was never going to find anybody, and so she became a recluse, and that was the part where she went wrong. And so that when she came out of that reclusiveness, she isn't it weird how we say recluse when it's like the word is reclusive, but we like change the way that the like. At first, I thought when someone was a recluse, I thought they were like wreck loose. Like I thought it was WRECKLOOSE. That's
Hmm.
how I see the word. But is it really reclusive? And they changed. Okay, anyways. So when you become that, I think when you come out of it, you want to do any and everything. So what you have to do is not become a recluse. You can't you can't be somebody who just like gets super sad. You have to be super like comfortable with being with yourself. That
Hmm.
this idea of a like lifelong companion or a companion until you die, you have to kind of like not let it
Get a
go.
dog
But it
or get a
can't
dog.
yeah, it can't be your first thing. It can't be like your modus operandi of like what exactly you want to do. She could you imagine a world where a young American woman moves to like Ecuador to be with some like older man? That is what I want to see. That is the next thing they need to get. I need a 90-day fiance where the person in the US is young and the person abroad is old. And it doesn't even matter if the old person comes to the US. Like I would love a 24-year-old to bring like a 52-year-old over from um Malaysia. You know what I'm saying? Just bring him over from Malaysia. Like I want to see that so bad.
Like, you're right, because we see so many similar things. I would love to see an incredibly rich foreign person.
Well, they already have the visa. That's the thing. But I would like to see it. They wouldn't need a 90-day. And maybe like the American could go to them in the rich land. Yeah.
Yes. Like, what could, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, could you, like, it could be anything. It could be a person that fell in love with like an rich Asian person. It could be a person that fell in love with like a Russian rich person. Like, I forget what they keep calling rich Russian people, oligarchs. What is that word? I
I
don't
don't know. I've never
understand.
heard of that.
Okay, whenever God bless. Um, like there's just a rich golf person, like Lindsay Lohan just married some and is having a baby with like some golf person. I know it's like golf, golf people. I don't mean like GOLF. I mean like GULF. um,
Oh, I really
mhm.
thought you meant like a professional golf from
No,
Europe.
I know, and I realize like it's like
Golf.
like the royal rich people of the Saudi Arabian royal family. Like I know probably those people have to marry, Muslims, and like people that are of the faith. But there's gotta be, yeah, I want a rich foreign person to be on the show having dated like a poor or younger American, because I'm obviously we see a lot of the power dynamics being like the Johan and Daniela or whatever, where like Danielle feels like she has so much power because she has more money than him and she's older than him and she's the American, and she's like all of those. And so I want to see some different power shifts.
Yeah. Anything
Um
else to say about Osama and Debbie?
Yeah, I just mostly obviously we're gonna see Debbie's heartbreak next episode, I think. And it's I just like can't I can't wait to see how that plays out. Like, is it just that he just like thought that it feels very much like this person is not reality. He's very young. So he just thought that he was talking to some old biddy honey and she shows up and he's like, cool, thanks for showing up. Bye. I gotta go put this cow. And she's like, this isn't my life. I'm not gonna stay here with you. And he's very sad. I don't know how I'm gonna deal with it.
You lied to me, Osama. That's gonna be like that. All
Let's
right, so
talk
let's
about
quickly talk about them. We didn't talk about let's talk about them. Ugh, okay, what happens? He comes over, says, I'm sorry, brings her a stupid flower. And I don't remember what the thing was, but it felt very like, oh, this was produced. This argument was produced. The way he apologized for not telling her because he was lied to at first. And then I don't know. I mean, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure what happened. I just
you
remember
know
being dumb and her being like, it doesn't feel good to sleep by myself and I'm not your girlfriend, I'm your wife. And like, I love you. And then they kiss.
Yeah, basically she was like, it's very hard for me to have a baby. I've been trying to have a baby. And so you lying with the fact that you almost had a baby, but then she aborted it is a big ass fucking deal. And you are like, she wants so badly to get him at all times. So I don't know, just acquiesce and tell her like how, I don't know. She's obviously a horrible person. And to make it all about her when this is a situation that happened to him in his past that has nothing to do for her, and to her to feel like she's a victim of a story that, it's just like, I hate her so much, like it really changed from like season one. Like she was palpable in season one as like curly haired, big butt, lovely, like weird witch person. And then now she's just like a Karen. She's like a curly haired Karen. I don't know what to tell you.
You said it right. You know what to tell us. You said it right. Yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, it's like they aren't fun to watch, and I feel bad for Johan, and I just like feel like at any moment he's about to leave, and I thought that he was going to leave at the end of this episode, and I was going to be kind of happy about it.
Yeah, and he didn't. So that's why I felt like it was producer based. Like they somehow, I don't know, it was dumb. All right, next couple that we should talk about. Is it Rishi? Is it Rishi and Gentime? Oh,
Nicole
Mahmoud.
Yeah.
Mahmoud and Nicole. So you guys, I think that Michelle from Blighted Day Fiance, I did the last week's episode with her, and she had a very good take on this couple, and I think it was very similar to what Chris was saying about this couple. Is that here is Mahmoud, this man who his entire life has been taught that a woman not only is built for, but would love to be a wife and a mother and serve her family and serve Allah, and that any woman, especially in Islam, because that's the same with Christian folk, the love of Allah will see you through. The love of God will see you through. So how can, after knowing the love of your creator, how can you not want to do all the things that keep your people safe or keep keep everybody comfortable, right? So he has introduced her to this world, and she agreed that she would be there with him and be his bride. And now she has completely backpedaled, and everything that he has been taught about what a woman would love and want, she has said, no, I don't love and I don't want that. And he's looking around left and right. He's seeing his mom, his sister-in-law, other women, other people's wives. And he's like, no, these women love this. They love serving Allah, serving me as, in the Mormon church, it's like the priesthood holder, but it's the same thing in Islam. Like the man is the one who's supposed to be the most religious because he is the head of the family. And I really do fault her for this, because she said yes to something that she could not do. And then instead of just saying, you know what, I wasn't fair to you and I made a mistake and this is wrong, I cannot do this, she has decided to make him responsible for making her comfortable in a lifestyle that she agreed to but is no longer comfortable in. Chris?
You are not wrong. Having said that, is his religion very conservative and very different from her, anything she grew up with? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should she have known that? Because she's 38, even though she doesn't always look it. She's I like Nicole. I think that when I like her, I mean, like, I want the best for her. Again, same thing as Chris, where I don't think I could be friends with that energy, honey. Like, her energy is, but listen, I want the best for her. And she's at a loss. She doesn't know what to do. I don't understand kind of quite her fascination with him being like the end all be all, because I don't even know what he gives her other than her feeling loved. And I get it. And it's the same thing as we're always talking about. There's a profound loneliness that is the driving force of most of the decisions on this show. And as humans, and because I'm single, I 100% get it. I get it, but at the same time, I think the line is what you sacrifice of yourself, and also the dishonesty, if you truly love someone, of what they're looking for too.
Mm-hmm.
This cannot possibly work. He is, at a very conservative part of being Islam, where like his aunts and uncles are like, in very much, I don't know the exact word, but it's the like it is the more than a hijab. It is, would you say it?
Fully covered, only the eyes out.
Yeah, it's not burqa, I guess, even though I thought it was that. But so anyway, let's go back to this. So she, she's very bored throughout the whole day. She really can't do anything. She can't go out. There's like no she doesn't know where the women cafes are. If there are women cafes, she has no friends. She's like basically trying to make tea in the morning. She doesn't know how to even light the stove. She's asked him before. His demeanor feels very much like, oh, this woman is always giving me problems. She's always crying. She's always upset. There's a demeanor of him that's like kind of over her in the beginning. Like, I gotta fucking show you how to light a stove again, bitch? Because like it's a fucking lighter and you put it on. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that it's easy, but his demeanor is like, bitch, I've been telling you how to light this fucking stove. What are you doing? How long does it take you to go into that bathroom? 17 hours while you cut your bangs again? My mom's got to use the shishmi, which is an Arabic word, by the way. But like, and I feel bad for her because she left her apartment on Franklin and Hollywood, right at the, Franklin and Gower. And she probably had her own bathroom where she could spend 19 years in and not have to sweep the floor afterward or mop the floor. And now she's like anxious as fuck. She feels like she has to mop the floor perfectly. It's wet anytime any of these people from his family could walk in and just slip and she's killed someone, and then she's just sitting there with those cute bangs like in a murder cell. Like she's going through it, and I get it. It's just his energy is like, you are always on a fucking 10. You are always crying and sad, and my mom was always like, what's happening with your wife? And I don't know how to deal with it. Like, you're never happy, and I don't want to be the cause of your unhappiness. I just want you to fucking like not be miserable. But she's miserable all the time.
Yeah, and lighting the stove is easy. So like he is it's easy. I mean, like, listen, I lit stoves like that when I was 10. So I know it is easy. You just have to be kind of quick with it. But I think what I saw from that is her trying to tell him and make him feel like his way of life is not adequate. It's not right. You see the fact that I have to do this and I can't do it because it's hard. You see the fact that I have to like give up my bathroom space because it's hard. Like I think that's what I get from her. And I feel like he's tired. He wants her to pray. He wants her to just light the thing. He wants her to come outside, and if they go to his uncle's house, put the fucking hijab on. Like, that's what he wants. And it's like, to me, I feel like she is now, not only is she saying like, I am not the best Muslim, but I'm trying. She's like, I don't want to do this, and I'm gonna soon stop trying, because she won't even acquiesce to putting on a hijab to go to a conservative man's home. And it's like, I know plenty of Muslim women who do not wear the hijab, but who are very proud Muslim folk. And maybe they don't pray 5 times a day, but they still love their faith, right? And they would still wear a hijab if they had to go to their conservative uncle's house. They would still do whatever they needed to do in certain instances. And, no one's asking her to wear the full, it's called like a nadukh or something like that. It starts with an N and it has a D and a Q in it at the end. And it's like, they're not asking her to wear that. And it's because initially she agreed to it. And so at this point, he's like, listen, he says something that I find were fighting words in my mind. As soon as he said, you are going to eventually wear the hijab, and she's like, no, I'm not. He's like, well, that's what you think, but you are. At that point, I would have said to him as her, okay, so that's the fundamental difference. What's going to happen if I don't wear the hijab? And then he would have said, well, then we're not right for each other. And then she would have said, then I think we're not right for each other. And so I'm so sorry to put you through this. I will go and apologize to your mother, but I'm going to pack my bags because I have to go. Because the truth is that I'm never going to wear the hijab. If it's to me, she is now at the point where she's like disrespectful of his religion and his requests. And so she needs to back out of it. Because again, to me, wearing a hijab is not that big of a deal. And if it is to you, then you have something really negative with the religion or with the culture or whatever it is. Like, you don't want it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like if you go to your aunt's house and she's like, hey, this is a shoes off home, honey, we take our shoes off. And you're with someone, a guy or whatever, you're with I'm whatever heterosexual, but if I was with anyone and that person was like, fuck your aunt, I'm fucking walking through her house, honey, with these clobbery, dirty shoes. it's like it's kind of like a similar thing, or it's
Yeah.
like you don't have to always take off your shoes, but right now you're in my aunt's house under her roof, honey, and it's a shoes off fucking home. What is the problem?
Yeah.
Like, and it's also everything about, we're going to talk about Jen and Rishi next. And so these have parallel situations where you have a woman who is a Western woman who is not used to um, communal living, who is not used to the obligations of a community or family-based household and life, as well as like certain cultural things. So like obviously Rishi is Indian, and obviously who we're talking about, Mahmoud is Egyptian, and heavily way more what feels like religious than Rishi's family. Nicole, for some reason, does not understand that Mahmoud is a person with convictions and faith, and it's who he is in his core, and he needs to be happy with someone who can be in his life. It's so selfish of me to be like, I don't understand what you think you're giving this. What is, like, why are you with this person? Is it just because you've never like you've never what had like some sort of like relationship you feel safe in, and so you want to jimmy yourself into this situation that's so wrong for you? Like, there is something about Nicole that does feel like I want her to get some help in therapy. She seems like a wounded bird, like she seems like she's 10 years younger than she is, like I want her to feel love and safe, and this is not the place to do it.
Yeah. It's not. So they fight. He leaves because he doesn't want to fight anymore, and he comes back and she's packing, and then she tries to make it seem like it's on him, the reason why she's packing. Well, you told me you didn't want to be with me anymore. You told me to just leave then. So I left and I'm leaving. And what is it you want? And he's like, he needs for her to be realistic for a moment, and to like for them to both make the decision so that it's not on him the reason why they're not together or they're not going to work out. It's on her. It's because she does not want to be the type of wife that he wants to have. He doesn't want to have a Western wife who's out here showing her neck to everybody and teasing all the men in the neighborhood. He wants a wife who is happy in the religion and loves the religion as much as he does. And she should understand that. I feel like she came from some kind of fundamentalist background too. Like maybe not her parents, or maybe not fundamental, but it feels like they came from some kind of strict, some religious background. And I think maybe that's what she's having some aversion to. And so we just watched them fight. It was uncomfortable, and next
he cries.
Going to be even worse.
Yeah, he cries and says, "I just don't feel like I'm the right man for her." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you said it. Great, good, bye." Yeah, like they know it. Like they know it. That dinner with his friends when she like makes them all hang out. Like, it's so funny to me that she does not understand the way the culture works. Where she's just like, "No, I don't get it. Why can't I just hang out with you and your friends?" I'm like, "Bitch, you've been living in Egypt. I don't even understand. This isn't your first fucking rodeo. Like, the whole time that you were in Egypt before, did you walk around and see that the cafes only have men? You didn't see that?"
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, also, it's like she does it again. So last episode, she's like, I'm going to listen to my husband when he tells me that things aren't normal. Husband tells her to wear the hijab when they go to the uncle's house. She goes to the uncle's house without the hijab. They're talking shit about her. She's probably going to be like, oh, maybe I should have listened to my husband again when he's telling me what I should do. Like, he's not making her wear it in the house. He's not making her wear it when the cameramen are there. He's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, if she's just like, wear it when you go out with me. When you're out by yourself, you could be naked. When you're with me, wear the thing, naked meaning without it. Like, it's just so crazy. Anyways, let's move on.
Oh, I want to say one more thing.
Oh,
I also don't even get this. So they get in a big fight. I feel like the big fight is because of this. His whole family's being like, "What's wrong with you that you don't tell your woman how to live?" And he's like, in his mind, he's like, "Well, can't tell this woman how to live, honey. She's fucking crazy." So I think that when she's like, "You didn't make me do this" on the phone, he gets upset about is his whole family's going to watch this fight. And it's making it seem like he doesn't care when the cameras are off what she wears. And he does. But he doesn't know how to like tell this woman on a FaceTime and she's America to put some sleeves on. So when she's like, "You don't make me do it," he is like, "Oh no, my whole family's going to watch me and think that I'm a fucking bad Muslim because of this." So it's like, I don't know. It's like I really hate that fight, and I really hate her. I really hate them together. And she needs just to get back, honey, to that door dashing in Hollywood. And I mean, I feel like very fucking soon I'll order some food and she'll be the one to deliver it. Okay, shall we move on, my love?
Yeah. Let's
Here,
go. All right. Jen and Rishi, y'all. So we start out this episode with Jen hot off of being frustrated that she when she like has those all those awkward questions for Rishi's mother, Rishi's mother, and she makes Rishi translate, and Rishi's sister is like, that's not what she said, and Rishi's friend is like, this is gonna be a shit show, and I'm here for it. And she's in the car and she's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to be upset. I love you so much and I don't want you to leave me. So I lied because I love you. And it's just like abuse 101. Red flag number one and abuse 101. And then the next day they are like on the roof or something, not on the roof, but they're outside and she's like, well, I need you to tell me the truth. And this is where I was like, oh wow, she's got her eyeliner tattooed. And I'm like, she's not old enough to have the eyeliner tattooed. So she just made that choice on her own. Is she of the age? Yeah, she is. She's 47. She is of that generation that get that Gen X that would get their eyeliner tattooed. Yeah.
you know, I actually did I had a roommate in college that did.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked great.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, and I remember this because they were like, yeah, she was. I think she was like Latina, and so she just like it looked really fucking good. I remember just being
Oh.
like, oh shit, that looks great, and I'm like, can I do that? But anyway, I didn't do it. Mostly because I was afraid of it being so close to my eyeballs.
Absolutely. I would never do that. But like it fades and then you look like you always have kind of eyeliner on and then eyeliner changes. Like eyeliner is not the same eyeliner you wore in like 92 is not the same eyeliner you're going to wear in 2023. So can I get it tattooed? Me, I couldn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So here we are. Jen is hot and late to a Zumba class. One thing you know about Jen, honey, if you are a young Indian male who loves fitness, then Jen is coming for you. No, she got her eye on you, honey. One eye. And it's going to be like this kind of stare. Okay, so when she was there before, honey, she met her other like friend Deer, honey, and Deer did 10 lines of coke and decided to like teach this fucking dance class. And you know, it's the moves are it feels disjointed. Like it's not like, you know, I feel like we've all done like, you know, it's like yeah, grapevine this way and then grapevine that way, but everything is like, you know, everything is like no one knows how to follow it. No woman who's taking this class feels like they've ever taken this class before and know what's happening next. I don't know what's happening to me, but literally my
It's like, yeah, it is so interesting. But these women are very, very excited to be on TV. I mean, they are like, bye. Like we know our little English. Like we are excited to be on American TV. And the way that they are just like disjointedly chopping in the air and like jumping back and forth. I mean, they surely did get a workout because by the time that Deer and Jen have their conversation, she's sweating. Her hair is all wet in the back and on the sides. And let me tell you, Deer is her very, very good friend. I mean, this man she met whilst looking for somewhere to work out in this area. And I'm like really terrified you're going to speak into the mic, and I'm like looking at the time to realize where I have to like fix this. So
no, I'm giving eyes to be like, she fucked him. Okay.
Oh yeah. So she's like, yeah, I met him and then we became good friends and like he knows me so well and so I need his advice in this situation. Like he knows everything about me. And this man is like sitting here like a guru. I mean, he has got the darkest of dyed hair. He has got the anime of contact eyes, and he was just such he was like just a weird fitness guru. And I'm so glad that I'm glad that he's not Rishi. Like, what if he were Rishi? Like, what if it weren't Rishi? What if it was Deer? What if she was moving to India to be with Deer?
That's what Deer wants. Deer 100% wants, I feel like, to jump back into that, and it won't be the first time Jen's pants. Yes. Now, so during this conversation with Deer, we get a flashback of like a little conversation that happened after the mom talk with Rishi and Jen, right? So then after like where it's like when they're trying to like go over that. So then after the Deer advice giving, next scene is Rishi being like, let's go fly a kite upstairs, honey. Let's go on that rooftop and let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring. Okay, that's fine.
What genre of music was that? It was like a little I thought it was like Shania Twain singing "Let's Go Fly a Kite." That was what you were giving me just now.
Okay, I'm gonna take it, honey. Honey, listen. Do I want it to be? You know, it's funny because obviously that's Mary Poppins, and obviously it's sung by Dick Van Dyke, who's just like, it's a great person. It's not sung by Julie Andrews, and so how
This
do
is how
you
it
sing
goes.
it?
Let's go fly a kite down to the ma. And you did you definitely like took it to the next level. She was like, I'm elevating that Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, honey. Let's call him Vagina Van Dyke. You know what I'm saying? Better. It's better. So anyway, it's a beautiful festival. So this festival is celebrating that God, honey, took a nap for like 30 fucking days, and then God wakes up, which I get. Like this is like I was like, oh, honey, I'm God. I'm like, oh, I've never been more godly. Okay, so then God wakes up, honey, and we're like flying kites on rooftops. It's really beautiful, and I'm like always every time they have like any sort of like East culture ceremony that involves a religiousness or whatever, it's just like, isn't it so beautiful to see like Indian customs and like Thai, when they're like everything is like putting a candle on a lotus beautiful flower and sending it down a goddamn river, and it's a billion of them. They look so gorgeous. We do nothing like that in America, except for sometimes we have like plastic duck races in rivers, and that's all you're gonna fucking get from us. Anyway, moving on. So he's flying this kite, and then he's like, also just like low key, this is what happens. You think it's all nice, and then we get into some fucking kite battles. There's kite fights. So then I don't even know how this happens. It's a string, honey, and it's like a piece of paper. They're bending on their heads, like it's like whatever. There's like nothing else up there. But then somehow the kites battle, and you can cut the other person's kite. Now, I don't understand what the string is. Is it sandpaper string, and you just kind of keep rubbing it back and forth, and the other person's string, it finally cuts it, and it goes off? There's not is there little scissors that you can, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, Rishi's like doing it. He's like, oh no, they're going to cut my kite. And then like they cut off his kite, honey. And then people from the rooftops are like, we cut your kite, bitch. And they're like, cut my kite, So what a great custom.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought Rishi was really handsome while he was talking in his confessional about cutting the kite and what you say. I was like, he has a lot of pretty straight teeth. Let me just go back to Deer real quick. So Deer also tells Jen that he that he knows her because he's like, you know what, your heart and your brain are telling you two different things. And she fucking flies out of her seat, does a cartwheel, crawls back to him and says, you know me so well. And I said, that is most people when they're having some kind of issue with love. Most people, if not everyone who has any issues with someone they're in love with, the reason why they don't just cut ties is because they have a battle between their brain and their heart. So she envisions him like, sitting cross-legged and just floating up from the pillow that he's sitting on, just like a spiritual leader. And he's basically like, he's like, do you think Rishi's parents will accept me? And she says that, and he says, she's like, you can tell me the truth. And he's like, well, Rishi needs to take the bull by the horn. He needs to be the one to tell his mother what to do. She will cry. She will rant and rave for a couple days. But after that, if he lays down the law, everything will be fine. And then to the cameras, he says, Rishi is making a fool of Jen. Rishi is not doing what needs to happen. And I said, you know what? He's right. He's what everybody in the States is thinking. And it is great. Thank you, dear.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, dear. Also, yeah, we all, having watched many of Jenny and Sumit, being like, oh, so you're saying if Sumit had just like been a man, sorry, bad choice of word, but in his culture, if he had just been able and strong enough to respectfully tell his family what he has chosen, and then not care about their initial reaction, that they would have come back around. But what Sumit ended up doing is like, trying to like lie to them and not tell them truth and like keep his mom's hopes that he'll somehow leave Jenny, and that just never happened. And so like that's kind of like the mishmash we're in now. So basically Jen is a smart lady and realizes that he's lied to her and that this is what's happening, and that is the parents are looking for someone that he is somehow not quite able to like tell them that he's already found the person. So she's like asking questions like, so just like low key like, hey Rishi, when are you going to feel chill enough to be like, I found someone? Because you make it seem like you don't have to meet any of the arranged marriages, that they're just waiting for you to tell them that you found someone. So when is that going to be okay? Because you've been finding someone. And he's like, oh yeah. I'll know that I can tell them that that it's you when they at some point are like, hey, where's that girl? And so Jen's like, wait. I gotta fucking just hang around your house enough to at some point, months down the line, one of your family members will be like, where's that old white lady? And then you'll be like, ding, ding, ding. You mean my fiance? Like, is that what it is? And Rishi's like, uh-huh. Like it's actually great. But then somehow like Jen hears that and she's smart enough to know that that's absolutely fucking asinine, but she knows she's on a show and she wants to acquiesce. So he's like, look, another way to do it is if you just moved in with me and they see how great you are. And she's like, oh, that also seems butt fucking crazy because that's not my life. And he's like, okay. How about you move in with my friends and just get a taste of what that like cohabitating life is, and then we can talk. And so she's like, okay, which great. So then he has some friend, honey, who has a beautiful home. Like it's a beautiful home, like it's all like modern. He has this like lovely young wife who is like only to happen to be like, hi, no, it's me, wife trainer. And like Jen very much realizes that like she keeps saying like, so it's this wife training, and she's like because what is also 100% true, which we've been knowing because of Jenny and Sumit, is that there is a hierarchy of family obligations and roles to play in that kind of situation. And every Indian mother has been waiting for a daughter-in-law to come to relieve them of their housework responsibilities. They don't want to get up and have to cook all the goddamn time and clean the whole goddamn place and make fucking tea all the time. And so they have been waiting for a young lady to just be like, fuck, new girl. However, in these situations when their like dumb son just keeps marrying old ass women, they are not going to get someone to come in and like relieve them of their duties, which is why they're always so pissed. But the sons don't get it. So anyway, Jen's like, okay, well, I guess I'll figure out how to do this. And then the young friend's wife is like, it's different for American Western women because they think they're raised to believe that everyone's equal. And they're raised to believe that if they massage their husband's feet, that the next day the husband will massage their feet. It's different.
Yeah.
Rock.
And I love that Jen is not disrespectful about it. She's not Nicole. She's not looking at everything and then looking at the husband and being like, and she's not like asking questions in a way that would make these folk think that she's judging them or that the way they're doing it is wrong. She's like, oh, so 4 a.m., but does your husband do that to you? And the guy's like, no. She's like, okay, I see what you're picking up what you're putting down here. Cool. And she's like, of course, I'm not going to be disrespectful. They're going to show me some things, I'm going to do it. And it's an hour out of her life. Why would she run amok? But it is wife training, and that's what she requires, because that's what an Indian wife is. And she's like, I don't know what I'm getting into. I thought Rishi and I were going to live separately. I thought he liked the fact that I'm independent. I mean, yeah, he likes the fact that you're independent because he can't wait to make you dependent. He can't wait to make you not that. He would like you to be very dependent upon him and make him somewhat in servitude from an American lens to his family, to provide that service to the family that is required for his mother. I mean, we all know that brother is not going to get married. We saw that brother last episode, and that brother doesn't know up from down. That brother never seen a camera. That brother is like stand off. That brother is...
No. Could you imagine? Yeah, it's a quite different look. I mean, Rishi is, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna be mean, but yes.
Yeah. No, Rishi is like fucking, he's Indian Fabio compared to, that brother is like Mike of Mike and Jimena. He's Indian Mike of Mike and Jimena.
Yes, he is. Yes.
Like it is vastly different. It is like one gene pool is here, and then the other one is just like the shallow end, And so, it's up to Rishi to do that. And Jen is like, I have 2 master's degrees. I didn't get 2 master's degrees to become an Indian wife. And I feel that was a little rude. It was a little rude. I understand you have 2 master's degrees, but there are probably women out there. There's a woman I know who's a doctor, who has her doctorate, and her life is towards servitude of her family and her husband. So that doesn't always mean that. But my thought is like, if you got 2 master's degree to not be an Indian woman, then what are you doing with your life? Why are you in India? I'm trying to marry this Indian man. Why aren't you like making the riches off of your master's degree? And maybe she is. Maybe she has some virtual job using both of her degrees, like she's like solving scientific problems, and she doesn't need to be anywhere. She could just do it virtually. Maybe that is true, but it just felt a little bit like, oh, so you can't have 2 degrees and be a loving wife and daughter-in-law and, well, not, I guess not mother, because that ship has sailed, perhaps.
Yeah, but we're going to talk about it, I'm sure. We'll see what happens. Well, I can't wait to see what happens next week for lots of reasons, but I'm so happy that I really like Jen. I like her energy. And I love the fact that she was warm and nice to them. And it's obvious that Jen has spent a lot of time in India. I mean, that she's lived there before. And so she understands the culture in such a way. So, my loves, here we are, having given you another recap of this journey that is season 4. Oh, yeah. You put episode 4, episode 6. I'll change that. Season 4, episode 6. It's been great. I can't wait to finish the rest. If you want to follow us on social medias, you absolutely can. We are at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, and at DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. If you'd like to, help us make tea in the morning at 4 a.m. by joining our Patreon, how would they do that, Wa?
You could do that with patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. You get the visuals of every single thing that we do the moment we are finished recording it. And then there is a live every first Monday of the month. You get to help us decide what shows we're going to do. Like right now we're deciding but we are going to be doing like Hair Tales. We're going to be doing Jared, the old, like, what's that thing called? Subway person. And then there's like another docu-series called Glitch that we're looking into. There's things happening. So we're going to give the Patreon folk the opportunity to vote which way they would like to hear first and see first. And stuff like that. So please join us on Patreon. It's 2 cups of coffee. It's 2 Starbucks coffees a month. Really? You know what I mean? You can give up two Starbucks coffees a month for your girls. All right, you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you in the next episode, most likely Lalu. So many fun things are coming up too. There's like Love is Blind and Seeking a Sister Brother, a husband, brother, husband, I'm saying, all those things. So we'll talk to you guys later. Okay. Bye.
Bye.